Hey folks, welcome back to SC Haulers. I'm Saxowine and we're back for the Hull C patch run. I've been testing the ship through every major and minor update to see if it's finally ready for the heavy hauling life. 421 brought a backend update that I mentioned in my last video, which states improved synchronization between client and server for inventory operations. Now I thought that maybe this was for just like moving stuff from your backpack to your regular inventory. But what if it also reflects on the Hull C? So I've been running some tests in Stanton and Pyro to see what's changed. So let's break down what's working, what's still broken, and if the Hull C is finally ready to haul. So the first thing we're going to go over is multi-pickup contracts. So whenever you pick up a contract that has you picking up from, like, in this instance, it would be Orbituary and Checkmate, and then delivering to Ruin Station. Whenever you accept this mission, it will automatically convert everything to Orbituary, right? But your pickup locations are still going to be what they originally were. So Orbituary, Checkmate, Checkmate. Now, the issue with this is that, one, the cargo still spawns at Checkmate like it was supposed to. But when you go and pick it up and try to turn it into Ruin Station, it doesn't accept the cargo because it's still anticipating getting cargo from Orbituary because that's what the mission currently says. So these missions are bugged, and this goes for Pyro and Stanton. This is across the board. Multi-pickup missions do not work. So in this instance in the footage, what I did was picked up the Orbituary cargo and just went over to Ruin Station. And this is what happens if you pick up those multi-missions. Is it accepts like the first couple of boxes or maybe just one box, and I'm sure plenty of you have seen this like multiple times throughout the past couple of years, but it only takes one box and then stops counting the rest. So now I'm stuck with all this cargo and nothing to do with it because waste is not worth anything, or carbon's not worth anything rather. So I do a couple tricks that I know that maybe will get the cargo unloaded. Ultimately, it does not work. The box is bugged, and I just drop the cargo off into space, and we move on from there. So now we know that multi-pickup missions don't work, and you can't turn in a partial mission. So what can we do in Pyro as a Red Wind Line Haul member with Headhunter rank, right? There's only one mission with the Hull C that you could do with this, and this is the unfortunate part about doing cargo hauling and Pyro, is because majority of those missions, even if you're hand loading, they are multi-pickup locations and they will not work. But what I have done here is accepted a contract going from Ruin Station to Orbituary. This is the old box that I had, and I can't pick up cargo from there, so I waited for it to despawn, and I'm moving to a different box, which, if you did not know, each one of these boxes have their, or each, yeah, there's a cargo deck, and they're all numbered. They're harder to see in Pyro stations, but you can move in front of those docks, and the Hull C will automatically get the box that's closest to you, as long as it's not occupied by another ship that is like loading, unloading. So we got this mission from Ruin Station to Orbituary. Now I'm struggling currently because the box is not turning green, which would be an indication that it's ready to load as long as I stop moving. And what happened was, and if you don't hear this in game, when you go into the box, you should hear this little clicking noise once you get into the box. The first time I went into the box, that did not happen, so it was not acknowledging I was in the box. But you can see here now, it is loading the cargo, and we're going to be on our merry way over to Orbituary. Okay, so we're here now. We're going to go into the box. It's green. We stop. And picked up the cargo immediately. Mission complete. Okay, so let me give you a rundown of what I did in Pyro to test this. So I did this mission 5 times total, including the first one that you saw. And I had 100% completion rate. There was no half orders. There was no, box wouldn't accept my cargo. There was no ATC issues. I went from Ruin to Orbituary 5 times, no issue. And I know that's a small pool, but it takes forever to do anything in Star Citizen. And so here we are. And it was a really good experience. Like, every piece of the Hull C system worked, but it only works if you're going from point A to point B, which in Pyro, there are not many of those missions. And so if you're trying to level up through member rank, Red Wind Line Haul, it's going to take forever because the multi drop-off locations are bugged. And then if you get a mission that has you dropping off at multiple locations, those work, those are fine, but it has you going all over Pyro to deliver it. So Red Wind Line Haul is going to take forever to level up reputation wise. But when it comes to the Hull C is working perfectly. And I can't stress that enough. This has been a perfect experience for the Hull C for me. And I can't wait till they fix the multi-pickup location missions, because this will be so much better. But that being said, I did it in Pyro. I have to go test out Stanton. So there are some known issues or previous bugs that were with the Hull C that did need to be fixed, like not cargo mission related. But I wanted to go over those real quick. I am doing a timed run of Terra Gateway to Pyro Gateway mission. And we'll go over that in a minute, but I want to talk about this. So there was a visual bug with the rear door going to the engineering department of the ship, and that is fixed. So, that's been fixed for a while, but it is fixed. Another issue is bed logging. So the underlying cause of the bed logging issue was docking. So if you dock somewhere and you undock, you will no longer be able to use your bed. That is still broken, and that is for all of the ships. A really cool update, and this was a stealth fix, or not a stealth fix, but a stealth update. This was not in the change logs. If you call the ATC for a cargo box, it will now have a marker for you so you can identify where your box is at. Now it says unknown. Like, it has a little marker on there, and then next to it, it says unknown, but it does have a marker, and that is while a small change, it is a very nice and welcome quality of life change. Now the ATC, since we're talking about it, if you want to contact the ATC, the default keybind is right alt plus N. Now this works for me majority of the time. I have my most problems with right alt N, or the hotkey, at Pyro Gateway. And so I have to resort to using the MFD or the comms panel. And with that being said, that is just one bug that has not been fixed. The other one is the ATC not responding when you call them. And so what will happen is you use the MFD, you hear the little click that it's contacting ATC, and nothing happens. If you were to look at your MFD or comms panel, you'll still see a screen there, like a black screen, as if you're talking to the ATC. Just close that and contact or hail the ATC again, and just keep trying to do that. What you're looking for is an instant reaction from the ATC. And here, let me show you what that looks like exactly. So here we have one of our earlier runs. I'm going to the MFD. I'm hitting Pyro Gateway Cargo, and you see how that black screen just sits there. You close that, hail again, and then finally you get that instant reaction like I was talking about, and it will bring up your cargo box immediately. So that is still a bug that is still around, and just keep doing that until you get a cargo box. The next bug I've encountered, and this is for all ships across the board, if you're in the pilot seat and you open your Moby glass, there is a chance that it will drop you out of Quantum. This is related to the Hull C. The load and unload timers when you're in the cargo box, it seems like the load timer is still bugged, so it's not giving accurate times, but the unload timer is working properly. And the final thing that I was able to test is cargo unloading works even with abandoned ships in the cargo box. Now, there used to be a thing where if any ship was in your cargo box, it would not work. I'm not sure if it's because it was abandoned that it was unloading me. So I would have to try again with another pilot in the box. But if there is an abandoned ship there, you can unload your cargo still. So that's all I've noticed bug-wise and stealth update-wise. So let's go ahead and get into my experience with cargo hauling while I was in Stanton. And again, this was Terra Gateway to Pyro Gateway for 698,000 AUEC. So I did 5 runs of this as well. And I had 4 missions that were 100% successful. All of it turned in. There was one mission that had about 90% completion. And this was, I'm not exactly sure what happened. Everything seemed very, very smooth, like all the other 4 runs that I did. So I'm not 100% sure where the issue lied, whether I didn't have all the cargo or if it was the same issue where it's not counting the cargo as it puts it into the ATC. But there was one run that was not successful. But overall, this was a very good experience for me. This test run that I'm doing, it was 17 minutes and 11 seconds. I am using a TS2 in this whole C. If you're using the Erebos, that travel time from Terra Gateway will be 3 minutes 15 seconds. The TS2 is 2 minutes 59 seconds. If you're using the comma in the Hull C, that puts your travel time from Terra to Pyro Gateway to around 4 minutes flat. And so your times between quantum drives will vary differently. But this run got me about 17 minutes, and the timer started from the time I got into Terra Gateway. Like, as soon as my quantum stopped and got me there, that's when the timer started. That is when this timer ended as well. So a full round trip, that is the experience, or that is the time that I went off of. So if you have a TS2 and you have 100% mission completion rate, which it is very likely that this is fixed because I have had multiple reports either in my comment sections or my few org mates where there's onesie twosie missions that don't finish. But if it is 100% success rate, you are making 2.44 million an hour, which is amazing. And remember, it's only point A to point B stops. If you can get the Everest Harbor to Pyro Gateway 1, it's going to be even faster. So is the Hull C finally fixed? And I'm super excited to answer this question. Partially. So obviously there is the issue where if you're taking a partial cargo load, you need to be able to drop off that partial cargo load instead of it being bugged out. So that is still a big issue. But when it comes to point A, point B, like cargo hauling missions, the Hull C has worked damn near flawlessly in both Pyro and Stanton. And I would go out on a limb, if you're doing just that, the Hull C's fixed. It works. And that's an amazing, like, I'm on cloud 9 right now. And I'm so happy. That being said, I am Saxo Wine. This is SC Haulers. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you want to see more industry and cargo hauling related content. And I will see you at the next haul. Love you, bye.